Greetings, Hi fans. We're waiting for Tom to join us. As always, Zoom had an update, and Tom is having to update his Zoom, so he's not on with us yet. Here I am wearing my Hive t-shirt. Thank you, John Yenny, for sending me the Hive t-shirt. We're here to do the knockout draw for the final 16 of the 2024 Hive Online World Championship. Of course, we've just got finished with the round robin. It was very exciting. There was some fantastic Hive play during that time period. The 32 players whittled their way down to 16. And so these 16 will be fighting it out in a single elimination format to determine who the 2024 Hive World Champion will be. Will it be Judoka again? Quadlibet, a previous multiple world champion winner, qualified as well. So we've got one existing world champion and one previous world champion here in the final 16. Still waiting for Tom. Oh, here we go. Tom has just joined. Now I'll have to do a little bit of figuring out how to readjust everything here. So Tom, are you on? Let's take a look. Oh, he's in the waiting room. It says that he's joining, so hopefully he'll be joining here very shortly. Of course, Tom and I were both in the 32 people that were invited, but neither of us made it into the final 16. So the level of play in the tournament this year has been really, really good. Oh, there we go. So welcome, Tom. I'm just taking a look at little puppet guy there that is his avatar. Maybe I have to invite him to ask to unmute. Oh, there we go.
Hey, Randy.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Pretty good. How's it down there in Florida?
Well, it's a rainy Thursday. It's supposed to rain all day today. We haven't yet had a hurricane, but did you get affected by the by Hurricane not whatever Debbie?
Deb, yeah. Couple days of heavy rain. Wasn't too bad here. How was it down there? It looked pretty intense.
Well, I don't know because I,
Oh,
I
right,
was
you were out.
I was
Gen
coming
Con.
back. I was coming back from Gen Con 2024, and I got up at 3:30 on Monday morning to catch my flight to go to Charlotte from Indianapolis. I got off the airplane at 6:30 in Charlotte, and there's the big canceled. The flight to Daytona was canceled, so I ended up spending the night in Charlotte. Rented a car on Tuesday and drove the long way around the backside of the storm. Excuse me, I've got this miserable cough. It won't go away. But that was kind of interesting. I got to drive. I didn't want to drive through Atlanta, so I drove some back roads through central Georgia, which I always enjoy that, and then got home at 10:30 on Tuesday night. The earliest that the airline would have gotten me home was midnight on Wednesday. So
Well, there you go.
it was
And a
it
fun
was an
road trip.
an adventure, something my mother
Yeah.
would have described as a lot more fun to talk about later than to live through. So it should be exciting this upcoming tournament.
Yeah, it's a really strong field this year. I mean, every year it gets, better and better, I think.
I don't think there's any question about that. I've got to figure out how to mute this so that I don't cough in your ears all the time. So we've got the A and B qualifiers have already been assigned their spots in the bracket. That's Judoka won Group A. Rise Again was second in Group A, and then AE Norman 43 won Group B, and Max Shark finished second in Group B. And of course, as you know, Tom, you want to explain how we determined A1 and A2, how they're matched up into the grid?
Basically, we just set it up so that players coming out of the same group in the group phase would be on opposite sides of the bracket,
Correct.
and try to make the earlier matchups, more skill disparate than the later ones, and introduce a little bit of randomness so that people can't try to affect exactly what part of the bracket they get into.
Right. And so, and again, it is possible that the two best players end up in the same uh, round robin group. And this way, if that is in fact the case, they won't meet until the finals. So
Right.
that's where we go. We've got 6 drawings to do. And interestingly, I have discovered I can't have my Zoom video on and my excuse me other video on. So I'm going to turn my Zoom video off, and then I should be able to get my Logitech camera here going. Bear with me 1 second. See if I can get it turned on here. There we go. There, I got my Hive Pocket set out, and with the four, if you notice on the screen, it shows the 4 groups are each identified by one of the Hive pieces, and so that's the way we're going to do it. We're going to be picking. If you notice on the graphic, the top 3 pairs will match up with the mosquito or pillbug, and the bottom 3 pairs will match up with the queen or ladybug. So, shall we go ahead and make the first draw there, Tom?
Yeah, sure. I can't see your YouTube stream, so I'm just gonna have to hear it
Trust
from
me.
you. Yep.
Okay. Okay, we've got Frasco, who finished second in Group E, and Roxar, who finished second in Group F. That'll be our first draw. And sadly, whichever one of these, they'll get paired up against either Judoka or Alex Norman, who were the finalist in last year's tournament. Judoka, of course, won again, and Alex Norman, first time silver medalist. So we've got them in there, and we're going to pull one out right now. This is Frasco. He is going to be paired up with A.E. Norman. And we'll move him over to there. And that means that somewhere down in here is a mosquito. Roxar will be matched up against Judoka in the first round. Both of those 2 matches should be very strong. Again, like you mentioned, all 16 players this year are very strong players.
Mm-hmm.
Roxar is Robert Uzar, and Frasco, of course, everybody knows Frasco. That's Francesco Salerno. Very active, both of them in the community. So if you had to venture a guess, is anybody going to knock out Judoka, or is he going to go for another championship? What do you think, Tom?
Uh, I don't know. I haven't actually watched a lot of his games recently, but I mean, it's probably who I'd bet on if I was, a betting man.
Yeah. And of course, Judoka is working on almost finished with the second volume of the Canon of Hive series, the opening theory. I've had an opportunity to see a preliminary copy of that. It's going to be exciting. Hopefully, it'll be out here very soon. So next up, we have Indus and HP Fish. Both of these were players that won their groups. Indus won Group G, and SP Fish won Group H. So let's go. Here we go. We'll shake these up and drop one out and see. This is for Indus. He will be in the Mosquito, so he's going to be on the judoka side of the bracket. And of course, that means that Ben, that's SP Fish from the UK, is the Pillbug. Okay, so who are Indus and SP Fish going to play? These are two newcomers to the tournament. WFF 17 was in my group and finished second. That's Will Farrow, also from the UK. And then Antoine LR is one of the very strong French players. So here we go. Shuffle these up and drop one out. WFF, this is Will, is in the Pillbug group. And then that means, of course, that Antoine, if I reach down in here, will pull out the Mosquito. So that's the top half of the draw. Let me go over and see if anybody commented anything on. So we do have some people. Carl, that's Cower 50. Hi, fellows. And then Rujan, rooting for the UK players. He must be from the UK. So there's the top half of the draw.
Well, I mean, it's the whole draw. We just fill in the rest of them at this point.
Well, we still have three more randoms for the bottom half.
No, we're not actually. We don't draw those. That's just automatically filled in with the ones that were not
Oh,
because you can't have two guys from the same group on the same side of the draw. So the
Tom,
rest of the draw just
Tom, I'm glad you are here because
fills
you are
itself out.
you are absolutely right. I would have done this wrong. So, what Tom is saying is that because, for example, WFF 17 is from the C group, that means that Happy Kiwi automatically fills in over here. Correct?
I mean, I can't see your bracket, but he should be in the Mosquito side of the bracket, right? The judoka
Correct.
side.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we just go ahead and fill the rest of these in.
Yep. Yep.
So Happy Kiwi is on the same half of the bracket as Judoka. So let's see, Dr. Bees, he's one of the youngest, probably the youngest player in the tournament. G2, he goes over and will play Chigi.
Yep.
Guadalbet, let's see, the H, Guadalbet will go on this side.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then Stepanzo will go on the opposite side from Frasco. And Gandak, whoops, something over there. So there we go. So on one half the bracket, we have Judoka against Roxar, Indus against Antoine LR, Happy Kiwi against Quadlabet, Stepanzo against Max Shark. And then on the other half of the draw, we have AE Norman 43 against Frasco 92, SP Fish against WFF 17, Chigi versus Dr. Bees, and Gandak versus Rise Again. It should
Yep.
be an exciting tournament, don't you think, Tom?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, like I said, everybody's getting better and better, and most of these guys are high quality. That Happy Kiwi quad limit match in the first round should be interesting.
It should be. If you follow Happy Kiwi at all, he's that player that you never want to get into an in-game situation with. You may take 275 moves, but he'll squeeze that victory out, won't he, Tom?
Yeah, yeah, it's brutal. Try
And,
to get him fast if you're going to get him.
and of course, Quadlibet is a multiple world champion. That should be an interesting first half.
Yeah,
Excuse
it's
me.
interesting that that's right in the beginning of the tournament. I'm not super familiar with WFF 17. You said Will is his name?
Will Farrow, he played. He was on one of the British teams in the team championship. The He was in my group, and he beat me the first two games, and
Nice.
I had to fight to come back for a draw, and then because he was able to take one game from Happy Kiwi, and Happy Kiwi swept me in four games, he automatically had the tiebreak. So my
Okay.
my final match with Mangusta, which is another one of the Frenchmen, it didn't really matter what the results were there, even if I would have beaten Mangusta and finished tied with Will. Will owned the tiebreak. So, but I didn't. Mangusta beat me 3-1. So I finished last in my group. So, which making it to the top 32 is, I consider that a
That's right.
an accomplishment. Getting
It's an honor
swept out.
just to be nominated.
That's true. That's true. So so should be a very exciting tournament. Let's see. No more no more comments being made. So hopefully I'll be able to do some live streaming. Like I said, I came back from Gen Con with this miserable cough that just won't go away. Happily, it's not COVID. I had multiple tests for that. So I
It's good.
appreciate Tom joining us today. Tom is also part of the committee that monitors the tournament, and so we're already looking forward to planning the 2025, and we're already looking forward to planning the 2026 uh,
Yep.
tournament. So look for some good changes. And of course, if you haven't already started playing on hivegames.com, that is a new Hive specific website. And we're encouraging as many people as possible to play there. So look, I try to look in a couple times a day to see if there's anybody there and play a game or two here or there. So Tom, I appreciate you joining today. I'll tell you what, give me 1 second. I am going to see if I can turn my Logitech camera off and see if I can get my video back on. Yeah, one of these days I'm going to get one of my grandkids over here and help me to figure out how to have two cameras going at the same time. So, Tom, thank you very much for joining today, and I appreciate everybody joining us on the live stream. Looking forward to a fantastic tournament season. We've already got a couple very exciting matches scheduled, don't we?
Yep, yep. And thanks for having me, Randy. Always a pleasure. Good luck, everyone in the tournament.
And we appreciate everybody joining us today. And as always, we're here helping you play Hive like a champion. And we're going to be watching and monitoring and streaming as much as possible throughout the entire tournament season. So thanks again for joining us today. This is Randy Ingersoll and
Tom Fife.
signing off for today. Thanks for joining us and happy hiving to all of you. Thanks.